We're not live. We're just us three, just talking, and I'll figure out where Staples is at.
It's still black.
Yeah, I don't know why it's going to do that. So they have a group chat. We have a group chat going on with everybody right now, and I think Staples is on a video chat with them.
I got you.
So I thought he's going to come on. He'll probably join us here in a minute. But so
hey, Aaron, I want to stop things right now.
Yeah, I want to. All right, we're going the same route.
And I want to. I just want to say something because that was very touching, and I held it together pretty damn good, tonight.
I didn't,
but I lost it through that last little bit because I went out there and watched it with my parents. And
it echoed, though, man. I hit the wrong button and it was echoing, which sucked. But I'll get you the link of the videos without the echo because the echo was my fault and I apologize for that. But
dude, that video. I'm gonna throw somebody under the bus real quick because my sister is here. She's been here all damn night, and she wouldn't jump on there. So,
well, tell her there's no audience.
Here's my
there's
sister.
No audience. Yeah,
Sammy.
Yeah, there's no audience right here.
Sammy,
you got no audience. This is a post show, just us talking. So,
and she can't hear you guys because I got my Bluetooth in because my phone sucks. I'm like on a 3-year-old iPhone. And everybody makes fun of me because it's like tiny.
You got a dinosaur.
It's like the size of my. It's like the size of my thumbnail.
They say that to him all the time.
So you think your brother would have loved that show?
He would have loved it,
man. I had so many mixed emotions because we didn't get the chance to talk and like go through things like I had thought maybe would have happened.
Went so fast.
My hat's off, Aaron. You knocked it out of the park.
No,
you
this
did.
is you guys. It's all you guys, man.
It's not at all.
I did. It's you guys.
All I do is do what I do best is run my mouth.
But I wanted to show where you guys could shine. So it's funny. I'm over here. Hold on. Dugan's over here messaging me. Emily Dugan. Hey, I'm filming a post show right now, right? Okay, come on, say hi to everybody.
What up?
There. Let's say hi.
Simon too.
You're photo bombing our post show.
Hi, Samantha.
Aunt Paula says hi.
What was that?
Hi, Aunt Paula. Love you.
Michael says hi and loves you.
Hey, let me finish this up and I'll talk to you in a little bit, okay? I love you too. Good old hacksaw right there. Photo bombing the post show. I love her. She's awesome. Did you guys ever see that video? What we did for her right before she got she was pregnant and right before she gave birth, we actually did one of those cameos. And we've been calling Emily Dugan Hacksaw for years. It started in Nashville. I don't think Walsh was there that night, but it was a fun story. We'll save that for another show. But so we started calling her Hacksaw. So right before, I think she was probably 8 months in, I did a cameo with Hacksaw Jim Duggan, like totally doing like his old.
You're showing our age, you know that, right?
I know, dude. Like, but he totally went into character, and like her crush is Matt Hardy, which is on the show next week, and it was so hilarious. Like we threw him in, and we had Hacksaw say Hardy's not the father, and
nice.
I'm gonna call Staples here in a minute and be like, dude.
Well, I do take credit for my brother being at Bridgestone when Church broke the attendance record.
Oh,
that was during the Hold of My Own, because I was in. This didn't make a show, and it really wasn't about my brother. So that's why it kind of didn't make the show.
Yeah.
But it is church related. So my daughter was kind of getting bullied indirectly at school, directly but indirectly. And, man, I'm red-blooded all the way through and through. And I told the school straight up, my kids are instructed, you touch my kid, they're instructed to beat the brakes off you until somebody picks them up.
Oh yeah.
And their job as a school administrator is to make sure that don't happen.
Yep.
So kind of, him hauled around and, some bullshit happened. Well, it was the Hold My Own tour, and we had just went, man, we just seen him. Where in the hell did I see him at? I want to say I seen him in St. Louis.
St.
Yeah,
Louis.
It was right after Michael actually, got us the suite seats, and by suite I mean they were actually suites.
Oh, dude, good pull on that. Yeah, I heard that during the show. I was like, damn.
And so Stacy, my wife, she's like, well, I got a friend that lives in Kentucky, and she's got tickets to church, and she's not going. And she was like, why don't you take Allison, our daughter? She just got bullied and everything else, and it was just absolute bullshit. So my wife was like, gives me a free pass to leave the state, with my daughter, and go see a church. I'm like, okay. So we go down to Kentucky, and it was amazing. That's the first time that I've seen. It was a Thursday night show, and it was awesome. I mean, church came out and like he ripped into a song, and then he does, his greeting to this, to the crowd and everything. He said, "I don't give a fuck if it's a Thursday night. We're going to tear this place down."
Hell yeah.
And I mean, we just got loud.
He's
Now,
famous
this is
for
my
that.
daughter. My daughter at the time was 9 years old, and this is her first like full-fledged concert. And it was like 3 hours. I think he played 3 hours and 6 minutes. And she was like, at the end of it, she's like, "That's it? It's over?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, you're ruined. You're ruined for life."
Yeah, I mean, once you see one,
and Shriver, and I'm gonna send you a video of my daughter at that show too. By the way.
Oh, dude, do it. I'll throw it up on the page.
It's what
She's
it's all about.
That.
Oh, dude, you have no idea. There's two artists my kids know. That's Bob Seger and Eric Church.
That's awesome, though. It's awesome that you saw them together. That tour was so freaking good for Eric. I mean, just for his career and everything, but like, it was cool if you actually got to see those two play together, because I think they fed off one
live
another.
Or anything.
No, yeah, we're just chit-chatting. We're recording. It'll be played later, but we ain't live.
This is Dad.
Hey Eddie,
Hey,
don't
Shriver, this is my dad, Shriver.
How you doing, Dad?
He said, "How you doing?" They can't hear you because I got like you got headphones on. I've got my Bluetooth on.
Hey Eddie, don't you have a recording of Allison singing "Broke Record" as well?
Hold on, Michael.
Like the whole song.
Yeah, but hold on, Michael. My dad wants to say something to Shriver. So.
Uh-oh.
I can't begin to tell you what Matt thought about the choir. I never seen him have any passion or respect for anything like he did the people in the choir. Like that was his first family, and that's how he made me feel about that. And I can't thank you people enough.
Man, you raised him right, man. We were lucky to get to know him.
He said you raised him right, and that they're lucky that they got to know him. It's
yeah, that video.
Man.
I'm for that video. Get everybody. I don't know what happened to Staples. He was supposed to be joining us. He had a swimming trunk story he wanted to share with everybody.
Man, I know. I couldn't wait to hear it either.
Hey, what about that baggage claim story? Or whatever.
It was the luggage cart. We didn't get back to that.
Yeah, if I could get Staples on, I'll tell it. Well, I'll tell it anyways. But I'm trying to pull him up.
Hey, and for the record, you're probably better off. Like, you're probably smart that you didn't like say, "Hey, Eddie, go ahead and come to Chicago." Like, it would have been it'd have been no good for either one of us.
Yeah, we would have been up all night. No, I would have totally done it. It's just like I had so much going on with the choir or the kindergarten concert tonight and everything else. Like I
Oh,
was
trust me, I get it, man.
stressing. It took me normally it takes me about I'd say a day and a half worth of work to prep for a show, just kind of like getting everything together. But I started this on Saturday, and I'm like, I got started early because I wanted to I really wanted to do something cool, and I was hoping to get a little bit more video for that last video I played, but I think it was perfect what I got, and
Yeah, it was perfect.
man, it was.
Uh,
Like, it got me making it. Like I couldn't. I almost couldn't finish it. I was like, no.
it was the whole show. I mean, truly, it went better than I could imagine. And I've got so many more stories, and I know there's so many more stories out there.
Yeah.
You know, and I warned you. You know, I mean, I can talk.
Oh, man. It was awesome. It was, hey, last work
Yeah,
I
you
got
can.
you, right? So it's funny. Joe Staples is active on Facebook, but yet he won't come on here. Oh, dude, you should see this chat I had. It was just a Walsh tribute show chat, and that's where I was getting all the pictures and stuff and video. Like I didn't play all that whole video of him in the cab.
Oh man, you came up with like some like I'm like, oh my god, I was gonna send that and I didn't.
Oh my
It
god.
was
Let's see.
it was awesome.
Oh, I never played this video. Man.
Dude, we can go on like that for days.
Here,
Well,
watch it
I
real
can't
quick.
see
It'll
nothing
probably
anyway.
But I do want to say this, Shriver. Like this is
you
the
guys
part,
see this?
and because I know this ain't live or anything. I mean, we're live
Yeah.
together, but it's
Yeah, this is us.
I want to fill you in on a little bit. I don't know the full details on Brandon.
Yeah.
But I do know that it was very, very directly related to the same way that my brother went.
You know the song Michael? The unreleased song Michael by Eric?
Man, I've heard it, and I've heard it through my brother, and this is kind of where I want to go with this. And this is kind of going to be against some of some wishes elsewhere. Um, I truly feel my brother knew some stuff that was coming. Um, and because there's some stuff that I know my brother had, and it's not here.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact that my brother gave it away, and he gave it to people that that he wanted it to mean something to. I know I sent you a message earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say her name was Julie, and I can't. Don't hold me to it. And I'm sorry, I'm terrible with names.
I am too, dude. I'm really bad with names.
But when my brother was going through some hard times in the beginning, like when he got diagnosed with his problem,
he had a mental illness, didn't he?
No.
No? I was just wondering. I know earlier this year with bipolar, and I've struggled this year with a lot of stuff, and I mean, we could talk for hours on that, but so, and I thought maybe a lot of it was stemmed from that.
Off the air or whatever, or that don't make it to past like us that are here right now.
Mm-hmm.
What it was is my brother was diagnosed roughly 5 years ago with liver failure.
Yeah.
Which is an indirect thing of like with Church's brother Brandon.
Mm-hmm. He had it was seizures. So he was having seizures, and he was on his way to the hospital, and that's why I heard he had a seizure and never came back.
Well, with my brother, the ultimate official cause of death that is noted or whatever that's on the medical records is stroke.
Mm-hmm.
He's 34 years old. Church is 3 years older than me.
Yep.
Almost to the day. He's 1 month away. but it was a stroke. It was a stroke that was caused, from the liver failure.
Yeah.
And the sad thing is that the weekend, that he went, it was the night before my parents' anniversary, and that Saturday night, his best friend was over here at the house. He was having a fire. I've got his last picture that he took, on his phone, and
Yeah.
he wasn't partying. He wasn't living it up. And he told his best friend, he said, "Man, I got to stop."
He knew before that.
He did know.
Yeah, he knew
There's
before
no
that.
there's no doubt, because like I said, there's me and my mom went through a lot of stuff,
Mhm.
and there's stuff that I know that he had. I still have not found his chief badge, because the choir sent my brother a chief badge that said "Come on, homeboy,"
Yeah.
and I know, like, man, me and him butted heads. And honestly, me and him didn't talk for about the last year, kind of similar to the situation that you had, at your house. And I
Mhm.
remember that. I remember that night directly because he called me from your basement,
Yeah.
and it was during a Notre Dame game.
Yep.
And we're both retarded Notre Dame fans, and
Me too.
yeah, and I remember he's like, and I'm in this basement, and it's like a shrine to church. And he's like, Eddie, he's like, there's nobody else that needs to be here more than you. So like it was gonna be huge, like if you invited me over there, and I'm gonna come to the
Oh,
infamous basement one night. You
yeah,
don't have a
yeah.
choice. I'm inviting myself. I'm doing a
No,
Walsh
yeah.
thing and saying no, I'm coming.
The
I mean,
door's
can
open.
I come too?
Yeah, the door's
Shoot.
open. Whenever you guys are close to Chicago, come on, anytime, man. You guys are more than welcome anytime. Yeah,
I've heard
yeah.
about this place.
I mean, you can see a little bit, but it's cool. It's small. Everybody, it's tiny. But I got my
Yeah, but
like.
there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, when I moved in, like I told my wife, I was like, I want the basement because I collect. I collect, like, I got Cubs wall over here, Bears wall over here. Come diehard Cubs Bears. I got a Jack Daniels bar. I have a lot of old decanters all over. I got a semi music wall, half naked girl wall type thing, but it's just like a lot of things I've collected over the years, different autographs of people, and then the whole wall behind me, like the whole length of the basement, so my church wall is that's everything. So like I was joking around earlier, like I get two of everything, and like I do, I try to get two of everything because like one thing I'll actually use or I'll wear, the other thing I just throw up on the wall somewhere. And there's just so much random shit I put on there. I got my dashboard on here for my old Pontiac, and that was the car I would always drive around to see my shows and like church, and the whole band signed my dashboard. It was like my airbag cover. And before I traded in my car, I popped the bitch off and threw it on my wall. And the dealer's like, "What happened to their dashboard?" I'm like, "Oh, the sun melted it. It just fell off one day." He's like, "Your whole airbag cover is missing." I'm like, "Yeah, well, sorry, it's on my wall." I didn't tell him what the real thing about it, but whatever. Trying to,
Well, I want
trying
to,
to see.
it's one of those things where, like, I truly feel like I've gotten to know you through these podcasts, and it's awesome.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm going to bring more personal stuff into it because I want to start growing. I want to talk with the choir first and build this around the choir, and I want to make this the choir's podcast. I want to grow it with the choir, and that's like my sponsors, like my three biggest sponsors, are all choir members, and I love that. And just like working together, like next year, I want to bring in artists and start kind of growing it more and see what happens with it. But I never thought a little live show I was doing in my basement, people would actually want to start watching. Like when we were done live, I kind of stepped away for a minute. I went and looked. We already had 800 live views.
That's
Well,
awesome.
my
Yeah.
my thing is, I mean, I watched the very first show and everything else. It's been awesome. Sweet Caroline's, been amazing.
Mm,
The few shows that I have caught, and I am quite a few shows behind because we do work so much.
They all
But
did.
it's been great. It's been awesome. I feel like I've met so many people like I know and I've never met them.
And there was so much. There was a lot of negativity for a while. I saw building in the choir. Like I saw just different people butting heads. I'm like, why? And I'm like,
No,
all
see,
right, we
like
gotta do
you know,
something
and my brother was a lot of one of those. I mean, he was one of those that, like, he's if you give that little nick, he's gonna start picking at it,
different.
and and I want to apologize, because the last like 6 months, the last month, I can vouch for, he's backed out. He backed out of everything.
Yeah, I was
And that's
wondering why
part
he
of
wasn't even in our groups.
well, and that's
2 weeks before my birthday was June 29th, and my wife and I was in the gorge and he was one of. I mean, everybody posts on your page happy birthday, whatever.
right.
I had tons of people, whatever, which was nice. But in my actual inbox, there was like maybe a handful of people that actually sent me a personal message saying, "Hey, dude, happy birthday!" And he was one of them. And I got a screenshot from that I'll never forget. But he sent a picture. It was the picture of him passed out on the bus or whatever, and me next to him. But he sent that and a little birthday message to me. It was 2 weeks before, and that's something I always cherish. I was at the gorge. I remember reading it on my birthday, and it kind of made my day just to know that he was kind of still there thinking. So,
Well, I mean, that's how he was, and
yeah,
like I said, I'm his older brother, and I'm just, man, I'm that limbo era,
yeah,
and I'm not into all that stuff. And my brother kept me up on all of it. My brother's, he was in every single fucking chat group, every single fan page, all of it.
He's the one that got me into all their church groups. He's the one that invited me. I mean, I had
he
no
was
idea.
active, man. Like I said, he stole the show in Texas.
I will give him a big shout out for the Outsiders tour. He gave me a call for the Chicago show in Rosemont.
Mhm.
He I guess he was going to take a girl, and she backed out, or something happened and didn't work out. And this is right after my dad passed away. He's
Mhm.
like, if you drive on up, you can have this other ticket. We'll split the hotel room. And I was like, deal. You
Hell
know,
yeah.
that's an easy. So packed my bags and drove up there, and that was when he was trying to quit drinking and not drink as much. I think he had one beer at the show, and I was putting him away,
Yeah,
We had a good time. Me and Matt had a good time.
man,
I'll
he
never
would
forget
kill
that
some.
weekend.
He would definitely be able to kill some beers too. I wish Staples was gonna log in and come hang out with us for a minute. I don't know what happened to him. I was trying to blow him up, but he ain't answering. So, but yeah, if you ever hear the old Chicago story, we're not gonna share that because this is still gonna go to Patreon. So I'm not gonna share the old Chicago story, but the salute you gotta find out. If you never heard, you gotta hear that story one day. So he was actually kicked out of an old Chicago in Texas.
I believe it.
But
He,
it was
he's
for a
he's been
reason.
kicked. He's been kicked out of a few bars down here in Collinsville.
Yeah, but it was for reasons you probably wouldn't think of.
Yeah, no.
It was alcohol related.
If our
I
friend
can
Matt
tell you
Duffy
right
was in
now,
this,
I've got 34 years with him, so yeah.
if our friend Matt Deppy was here, he's got quite a few stories with Matt that I wasn't even a part of, and them are some wild ones. Wild ones.
So I'm thinking we got to do something for like the 1 year, man. We got to look into it because I know I've talked to my buddy Trevor. He's the lead singer of the band Chief, the tribute the church band, and Walsh went and saw him a couple of times. He loved him. I mean, Trevor gave me
Dude,
stories.
that's what, January 4th?
Oh yeah, they're in Chicago January 4th. That's gonna be fun. But
At
I'm
Joe's.
at Joe's. I'm talking in July. We should do something for your brother though. In July and just
Let's
look
do
at
it.
some dates. and I could talk to them and try to get them on board. I mean, if we do it at your guys' local bar there in Indiana, they
My
got
bar's not big enough, and
dude.
I don't have the license
Doesn't,
for it.
well, doesn't matter. And well, we could do it.
Michigan. Those
We do it.
Michigan rules.
Yeah, we could do it acoustic. I don't know. I
I'm
mean,
all
these
for Joe's, man. I'm gonna back Joe's like 100%.
shit. We
What
should do
about
it.
Mulligan's or the backer?
I don't know. We'll get together and work something
Yeah.
out.
Let's talk. Definitely. Because I was talking to Trevor. I know he was on board to try to do something and at least do something like in the 1 year, like a memory of something. I mean, even if it's to raise some money to give to a couple of our families for kids, like Staples is doing with the money now, something like
Yeah.
that. We'll do something fun. And on
That'd
the
be
1
awesome.
year, just to, I mean, like one thing Heather said about like Sonny is like she wanted to keep the memory alive, keep his name alive, and that's what we want to do with Matt. I mean, we want to keep his name alive, we want to keep the memory alive, and that's why this show was part of it. Because now this show is gonna be archived on
Well,
Apple, Spotify, everywhere. It's gonna be archived. You could go and listen to it on your phone at work or whatever. Anybody could listen to it, and they're gonna know who your brother was, and that's why I
well,
want
and that's why I brought the Sonny's Cup up. You know, man,
Yeah.
my brother was big into that. I mean, I wouldn't have a cup if it wasn't for my brother.
Yeah. Oh man, he was a trip. That Texas trip, dude. We had a good time. We definitely had a good time. But the luggage part worked. It definitely worked to get him to his room one night. I wasn't part of it, but I just heard about it.
He's
I
like I
believe it.
said, man. He is an over the top, and man,
Oh, he's go big or go home.
I'll
Man.
have to. Oh
Go
yeah,
big or go
absolutely.
home. You couldn't say it any better.
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you know what? Watch this. I'm gonna pull up on his tablet, and I'll send it to you this way, or not send it to you, but I'll video it to you this way. Hey, find his photos. Oh, there it is, gallery. Because he's got this picture of me, and if he was here, he would be adamant about showing it. And because he kind of blew me away, I wasn't expecting to see like all the pictures of me, like because I didn't send any of those. You had to go to like my page or something.
Well, that's what I do. My common protocol for the show is I'll first off whoever my guest is, I'll stalk their Facebook page. I'll go through all their photos, and I'll just look for fun times. Like I love that photo of you and Jack. Like that was the first thing I found of you, and I pulled. I'm
Well,
like,
my brother's actually part of that as well,
nice.
because we won that at the linebacker where my brother worked through a we were raising money for, I want to say it was Toys for Tots. It was a local charity or whatever for this time of year at Christmas.
Yeah.
For kids. And the guy that actually won it, he took like 2 weeks to fucking like get back and like never got back. And my brother was like, "Well, you're the next name draw, and here it is. It's yours. Come pick it up." And that was like at the time that we were buying the bar up in Niles. And I was like, man, he's like, "No, shut up and take it." And I was like, okay,
You're talking
we
about
won.
Niles, Michigan, right? Or no, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that close to what is it, Hell, Michigan? Or
No,
Niles?
well,
Is there that big haunted house in Niles?
Do you know where? Well, you know where Notre Dame is, right? You're South Bend.
I do, but I
15
got
minutes.
lost. I got lost. Like you know where the 94-90 split is, and if you screw up like normal people do, you end up in Michigan instead of going on to Indiana Turnpike. I got lost and I saw a haunted house sign. I thought it was like Niles, Michigan, or something. It was like the world's largest haunted house, or something. I don't know, some sign. I was like, huh.
Oh no, yeah. We have the Niles Haunted House, and we are one of the biggest haunted houses like around.
That's why I think it was I saw. So
yeah, that's. I mean, we're right there. My bar is like 6 miles from that.
Well, next time I get lost on the Indiana toll road and I end up in Niles, Michigan, I'm gonna hit you up and come to your bar and have a drink.
Absolutely. Like, all right. I'm not proud, but I don't know if you see that, and it might have been up there, but that was that night that I was talking about. We were with church, said you damn right, Fort
Mhm.
Wayne.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
so I'm wearing a Hank Williams Jr. shirt. What is it? I'll keep my guns and my money. You
Yeah.
keep the change. So I'm wearing a cowboy hat and everything else, and that cowboy hat's kind of infamous. I've worn it like so many fucking times.
That is awesome. Well, man, I gotta be logging off here in a couple minutes. I gotta go do some dad duty. My kids are still awake. I gotta put them in bed. But if you could take 2 minutes and say anything on behalf of your brother, to the choir, to all of his friends, what do you think he'd want to say, like in this moment right now?
All right. I don't know that I'll fill 2 minutes, but I'll say it's short, sweet, quick, and simple. It ain't about you. It ain't nothing about you. It's
Mhm.
bigger than you. Um, it's very simple. It's just pay it forward. If there's something that you can do for somebody, um, completely selflessness. That's do it. That's my brother. I mean, he would hands down help you. Um, and that's just it.
Look at we're
I
getting
don't
ready,
I don't I don't care if it's carrying. They're staples.
I was gonna say we're getting ready to sign off and end the show, and look who joins in with us.
Yeah, dude, I've been having technical difficulties. The cell phone service gets jacked up where I live ever so often.
Well,
So I apologize.
Ed, go ahead and finish what you're saying, or go ahead and finish real quick.
It's just that, man. It's selflessness, man. Don't worry about what people are gonna think of you or this or that or the other. Um, there's pictures that didn't make it on there with all of us running around at my brother's quote unquote memorial party,
Mhm.
and our faces are all painted up, because there's girls, and they came up to me and somebody said, "You're not gonna let them do that," and I was like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "My brother would be the first one rolling around on the ground down here with them,
Oh, yeah.
and this is all about my brother."
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that
So
glow in
it's
the
like,
dark face paint.
oh yeah, even Michael, pretty boy Michael, he even got it all done up. So it's just he it's just doing to others as other that you'd have done to you.
Yep.
That's all I can ask. I mean, my brother took my uncle Mark to church. I didn't name drop him during the thing, and I should have. My brother took him, to a couple shows. I took Uncle Mark to the St. Louis show. Uh, it's just, pay it forward.
Yep. I agree.
I think
Just
a
pay
lot
it
of
forward.
these people do.
I agree. And the choir is the best.
A
There's
lot
no
of the
there's
church
no
choir
doubt.
members
There
dick
is
nutters.
absolutely no doubt. Hands down, and my family will attest to it. My immediate family and even Michael involved. Yeah, dude, the choir is there's none better.
Man,
And I'll say this, and if you want to put this out there, because I'm not going to dog Garth. Garth, you kind of touched on that.
yeah.
We're watching a living legend. He
Yeah.
is. I've seen Garth when I was 14 years old. The guy is freaking amazing.
It is. I
Now,
agree.
Entertainer of the Year is not a fan based, thing.
I'll tell you this. Rich Cassidy, him and I were on the show. You can go back and listen to his, but this didn't make the show. And him and I were talking, and he goes, "I'll tell you this." And this was the day before the awards. And he goes, "I'll tell you this, Driver. Church doesn't win because of this." He goes, "My entire staff." He's a radio DJ. He goes, "My entire staff is in Nashville right now doing interviews." He goes, "We have
And
calls."
church ain't there.
He's like, "Yeah." He goes, "We have call sheets. Every nominee for Entertainer of the Year is here doing interviews with every radio station in the room." He goes, "Church is nowhere to be found on any of these call sheets." He
No,
goes, "That's why he doesn't win it." I said, "I agree. I agree." And that's because
absolutely.
Entertainer of the Year, if you look at if you look at what it entitles to be Entertainer of the Year, Church hits 50% of it right on the nail. I mean, nail on the head. I mean, all the time. But there's another 50% where he does not do.
Yep.
He shoots himself in the foot.
So yeah, he does Rolling Stone, or he says I don't think Garth did it this way, or he does shit like that, and he tells his band to go home an hour before he takes the CMA stage and screws up their production. All right, we got Staples. I got like 2-3 minutes, and I gotta log off for the night, or else I'm gonna get hated. We got a story that we gotta share, and this is Staples and I's wish we never would have happened story, but we look
I
back
know
on
it
it
would.
now. Yeah,
I know it. I wished it wouldn't have happened since it's
we
one of
look
my
back on it
personal
now, and we're like
belongings.
kick ourselves in the ass. But so go ahead, Staples.
Okay, so like I said on the live podcast, thankfully back last October 2018, myself, Jamie, Emily, we all talked Walsh into coming to Chicago to see Ashley McBride. I think
I
that
still got that ticket, by the way.
that's awesome. What that? Correct me if I'm wrong, Shriver. The Ashley show was on Friday, and the songwriters thing in your basement was on Saturday. So me and Emily drove up in one car, and Walsh and Jamie drove up in Jamie's car to where you live. We split a hotel room for the night. I can't remember the name of the hotel, but it was like maybe
Just
about a
Country Inn,
mile
wasn't
and
it?
a half down the street from your
I think it
house or
was
something like
Country
that.
Inn in Zion. Yeah, this is in Zion.
Yeah, I believe that was the name of the town. But it was like it wasn't very far from your house, from what I
Yeah.
can recall. And we done a little pre-partying up in the hotel room. Jeff and Candace Brown, they showed up and pre-partied at our hotel room before we got there. Me and Emily got left behind, so that's where my frustration of Walsh began that night. And it was a little miscommunication, so it's all good. But by the time me and Emily showed up to your house, Walsh and Jamie were nowhere to be found, and apparently, in typical Walsh fashion, he was a little too rowdy. If
That's why I kicked him
correct me
out.
if I'm wrong, Shriver, he was a little too rowdy.
Well, I didn't really kick him out. We were having a songwriters thing, and these guys are up on stage, and it's like 40 people, 50 people in my basement, and you can hear a pin drop, or you can hear Matt like in
Yeah,
the
it
background.
was pretty quiet when me and Emily got there, if I recall.
So, and there was a couple of times where like the artist on stage would make a comment because everybody's trying to be quiet and listen, and Matt and Jamie were a little loud in the background, so we just asked them if they could maybe go back and hang out at the hotel for a little bit. And we're like, hey, the minute the songwriter thing's done, I'll let you know. You come back and hang out with us. I'm like, because this is gonna be loud. We're just gonna get up on stage. It's gonna be like drunk karaoke. We're gonna have fun. It's gonna be a blast. You're gonna love it, dude. Just come back at that time.
If
It'll be fine. And
I remember correctly, me and you got up and done a little singing that night. It was
yeah,
we
we did.
we got that drunk
Fun.
that night.
Yeah, we had fun. So I pretty much sent Walsh and Jamie back to the hotel, and when they got back to the hotel, yeah, then Sable's story continues.
Yeah, so I had way too many Jack and Cokes that night, and I think I stormed off at the end of the night. But me and Emily, I think we got in an Uber, if I
Yeah,
remember correctly. We ended up in an Uber, head back to the hotel. Well, I, I, I was still a little frustrated at Walsh and Jamie for leaving us behind. Again, I don't know why we got left behind, but so we get back to the room, and I noticed where my luggage was at. My swimming trunks were laying on top of the luggage. I'm like, what the hell? Why is my swimming trunks laying on top of my suitcase? Because I haven't been swimming. Once we got to the hotel, we just started cracking beers and getting the alcohol flowing before we went to Shriver's house. So we didn't have no time to get in no swimming pool. So it just kind of dawned upon me. I'm like, and I excuse my language, but I'm like, that motherfucker went through my luggage and got my damn swimming trunks out. I was like, what the hell? And the story that I told some people, I'm like, yeah, I burned the swimming trunks. But I guess I lied because let me get them out here. It was a pair of and you all are Notre Dame fans. I'm a huge University of Kentucky fan. He put on University of Kentucky swimming trunks.
I wish I could
You can
see this.
see because he wanted to go
I'll send you a
swimming.
link later.
So I've got a little momentum of your brother. I will say I have not wore them since he touched them, but I still have them. And
So you're
yeah,
saying there's
these are
some
the swimming.
DNA in there.
Yeah. Well, like I said on the podcast, he's my brother in more than one ways, and I'll just kind of roll my eyes at that.
You guys visited many igloos together. That was
Well,
my
hey,
last
man,
question for you, Ed, tonight in the hot seat.
I
Was either
appreciate the
Eskimo brother or no.
I appreciate the hell out of the stories, and so does my family. They thought it went really well, and I got a lot of texts afterwards, saying that it was an awesome tribute and it went better than anybody anticipated. So,
Nice.
uh,
It's really
so
pretty
so
good,
to
man.
Aaron,
We had to do something.
so to Aaron, to you, my hats off, and to the whole choir, man, just I got nothing, man. You guys are just amazing.
Well, thank you guys
And
for joining me tonight. All you
This
guys.
was fun.
Who has a
Yeah,
beer?
I mean,
You guys have a drink? Let's do one last
well,
drink before we sign off.
we haven't met you all yet, but we all got to do a church show together.
We're gonna do
Oh,
one
absolutely.
very
I
soon.
mean,
I promise. We're
well,
gonna do it.
I can promise you,
I'll
you're
even,
part
I'll
of the
even go to
family,
that
man.
January 4th
We all
show
gotta do a
you guys
church
are
show
talking
together.
about. Joe's Bar.
Yeah. Well, let's do Well, January 4th, come to Joe's Bar, dude. If they do what they're planning on doing, like promo wise, and if they let me help them, then we're gonna have fun. So Chicago or Illinois, I don't know if anybody smokes at all. They're going recreational pot starts January 1st.
well, in Michigan, it's already there.
Exactly. Michigan started
Yeah, I saw
November
an
1st.
article about that
Yeah.
today. How
So
much money they have already made.
Yeah, Chief wants to do. They're playing January 4th, 2020, the first 420 of the year. They want to do an end of prohibition party at Joe's Bar that night. So they want to do a promo video leading up to it to help sell tickets. So I'm like, that 70s show opener. And
Absolutely.
I was talking about Cameo earlier. We did a cameo with Hacksaw for Dugan. Oh, Stables, you missed it. Dugan totally video bombed us during the post show. It was kind of funny. But I'm like, we got to do the 70s show where we just put a camera in the middle and we just get a smoky room and we all go around sharing church stories. And then next thing you know, you're up on stage at Joe's playing. So we might do a video. We're still trying to work on it. And it'll be fun if we can pull it off. But
I can never commit to anything because
yeah.
we have employees and everything else, and people suck. But
if you can it's a Saturday night. I'm pretty sure it's a Saturday night. If you get up and come see it, it's like $10 at the door. It's not anything.
I'm not worried about that.
Yeah,
I'll figure something out.
They're good though. They're a jam. Your brother loved them, dude.
We had a really good time that night.
If nothing else, if I get to meet Staples and Shriver in person and shake a freaking hand, it's worth
That's
it.
what I want to do.
It could be
That's what I want to do.
that
like a
weekend.
shot or something, dude. We're gonna just take a shot.
I want to come to South Bend some weekend and kind of just, since I didn't get
See
to
a
make
real
it to the
football
memorial
team?
service, kind of go to the old Walsh's stomping grounds, hit up the linebacker and a couple
Staples, I
other
was
bars.
talking to him before you came on. The 1 year anniversary, I want to do something like the weekend before, the weekend after. Trevor with Chief is on board too.
That'd be a good idea.
Do a Chief show somewhere around Mulligan's or somewhere where his old stomping grounds were bars he loved. Just kind of, we just open up to anybody in the choir that wants to come. We kind of do whatever they're going to charge us. We'll double the door fee, and we'll do it, and we'll collect money, and then Staples will put it towards another family in the area for
All right.
Christmas.
Well,
Eddie,
let's get together a
even
few times and we'll work on something.
Yeah,
Eddie, even look into Mitch's. Mitch's got a good spot.
you said Mitch's or
Like
midget?
Mitch's.
Yeah,
But,
first I thought that's
let
what
me
he
let me
said
look
too,
into
Strider.
let me look into a few things and we'll get on that.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
Look,
thankfully now I have
I'm
a set
300. I'm
work schedule, so I
350
know in
miles away, and
advance
I
when I'm
still know
on.
all these bars.
we're gonna get you. We'll get you involved, man, for sure. Well, guys, I gotta run. It's getting past my bedtime, but thank you
Well,
guys all.
boys, let's do it one last time for our fallen brother. Let's do
Yep.
it one last time.
A holler and swaller.
To you,
Hey.
Walsh, we love you, man.
Hey, in behalf of Walsh, one of his real good comrades, man, and I know this don't go out to anybody else, but it sucks. But raise one up to Rev Rhino. That was a really good friend of my brother's and a DJ. So here's to you, Rev Rhino, and my brother.
Cheers.
Well, if we do anything on the 1 year, we'll have to try to get him involved. Is he
Absolutely.
local? Is he local there?
He passed away, but he was one of
man.
he was one of the huge local DJs, and
Oh.
I can absolutely make that happen.
He's on one of Matt's profile pics, actually.
All right.
Yeah,
All right. Well,
the guy that looks like the Walking Dead. That's
Yeah.
that's Rev Rhino.
All right, guys.
All
Well,
right.
thank you guys so much
Thanks,
for
guys.
spending so much time tonight, and I appreciate it. So,
Thanks, Aaron.
Again,
cheers
thank you,
again,
Driver.
everyone.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Staples. You guys
Hey,
have
man,
a good
love
one.
you
Love you,
guys.
cuz.
Love you guys.
Peace out.
Love you too.
Thank you. Thank you, Staples.